Now, I know a lot of people have passed, including your dear mother and grandmother, and there are other people that you've mentioned in the book that have passed. But of
My
those
father.
who, yeah, your
His
father's
father.
passed. You tell about his story, and that how you all met late in life, and how that happened as far as any kind of reconnection, if not reconciliation, but reconnection. But I wanted to talk about the people who are alive and the people who have read the book, and I want to kind of move toward
Okay.
what life has been like since the book has been published.
Okay.
So how has it been for the people who've read your book? You're in your family, the friends you may have mentioned. What has been the reception of your story being on paper and published?
First I'm gonna start with like my girlfriends. I mentioned Deborah, Valerie, and oh boy, they're just really singing my praises. Even though they was there with me at some point and they know the pain, but they know the joy. They're very proud, that I wrote it, and that they see it on the bigger picture, that is going to help other people too. But more so, they're glad that I, came to some kind of solace with my own past, and that I'm able to live with it and to change the trajectory of my story in some areas and to move forward. And so, we've had, lunch. They've referred the book to their friends, etc. My children, they each have the book. To be quite honest, we haven't talked a lot of detail.
Okay.
But my son held up the book on social media in his church, and I've heard him preach, and he's said some things.
To show that he's read it and he's looked through it.
He know. And so I'm really very proud. I dedicated to them, and then, my mom. My siblings, I'm still in the process of giving it to them.
Oh, okay.
So I'll probably send them as a Christmas gift.
I see. So some people have read it and they're well familiar with what you shared. Some people, there remains to be seen. But largely you receive support from your family.
My grandson.
Okay.
He let me know. I'm reading the book. He said, I'm going to try to learn something about our family history. I'm like, okay. I said, call me if you have any questions.
Yeah. Because to that point, when you did this, you did record a part of family history. And and that's to the extent that's why your grandson could say that, because you talked about your upbringing, where you're from, the roots. You talked about that the connection to those places. So I don't even think that you thought about it like that, but this is a record of some of your history, and that does open up the door for conversations to happen within the family about where everybody comes from. So I guess it would make holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas and things like that coming up maybe a little more interesting if those who have read the book and say, well, you know what, Mom said, or Arlene said, because they call you Arlene, your middle name in your family, right? So again, by different names, this in her book, and what are we going to talk about that? Are you nervous about anything coming up?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm kind of like right now, like chatty cat.
Okay.
So to speak.
Yeah. Basically, you said I said what I said because it's in the book. It's in the book.
I can't. Nothing I can do about it. Now it's out there. One question can go to the other.
Yeah.
It's just that you get the version that's not in the book.
Sure.
But I'm looking forward to it. I'm just owning my truth.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just owning. Who I am. I know who I am. I know whose I am. And I just know who I'm going to be when I see him.
Sure,
so I'm not
I love that. You said you're not scared. And why would you be? Because honestly, what else could happen?
Right. Well, look, you accept me or you don't. Look, I've been rejected before, or whatever.
And we're not even trying to talk bad about people to that extent.
I'm just saying.
I got it.
I can handle it.
Yes. Clearly, you have shown that's really what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That you can handle it. That you can handle the blows
Yes.
that you have and you can and you will continue to, because if it didn't knock you down yet, it's just less and less likely to knock you down.
I wish more people would write a book and be more, transparent, especially us as believers.
Come on.
We just paint this picture like we've been like perfect, a 10 all our lives.
Come on.
And that's
and we're not even 10s now. My God.
Exactly. And so more people will come probably to the Lord if we would just let them know what God has delivered us from. He said we overcome by our testimonies, right? In the blood of the Lamb. I mean, it's so much that we could share. Now, I know that, again, here I go, I always do the pros and cons. There are some people will just use that, to crucify you.
Sure.
But, you don't put anything out there that you can't, really handle. And then if you think you can handle, then sometimes you feel like, oh my God, do I want to do
Funny you should say that. When you use the word crucified, the funniest clap back Jesus will ever have will be coming back.
Yes.
Because
yes.
He was crucified and what?
Right.
So to that extent, the clapback is, and I'm still here. So what you gonna say that I haven't said?
I rose again.
Yeah,
you didn't
say, yeah.
Thought I was gone, but here I am.
But the resurrection, you see it right before your eyes. So what can you do to me? What do you think you can do to me? If I shared this with you, I have now taken the power away that you think you have. Because I said it, you can't use it against me. So I really love what you're saying as far as like if we told our story, then it empowers us and it actually deflates the enemy and anybody else who wants to be an adversary, because then they'll just make themselves look like a hater. Honestly.
You're right. Exactly.
So, there's that. Then what do you think is next for you now with the book? I mean, what are you doing as far as the marketing of the book? I know that it came out late summer and then it was re-released because there was, and it was necessary for it to be re-released. But, what are you doing now that the book is out?
I did do some other book signings.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to doing some conferences, and also like a book like club kind of thing.
Okay, sure.
But based on the book, so on dealing with trauma, that is my thing, and even getting more into spiritual direction from the book. And just for my life, I've really been seeking the Lord.
I want you to do. So this is basically up on the floodgates. You have more that's going to come out.
And I'm going to write some more books.
Okay, good.
And from a scholarly point of view, as well from a more clinical, I'll say clinical.
Okay.
Because as a chaplain, we don't diagnose. But that's not a dig, because to learn and teach someone about psych ed, because usually people get diagnosed, they don't really know what that means, So we teach them how to live, with that diagnosis. But I like to say we're not our diagnosis.
Yes.
Necessarily.
Sure.
Because I know that I'm not my trauma. I might experience something, but I'm not it.
Well,
not that label.
I love that. And I think that's going to be a great place to kind of round this out. As a final kind of, if you will, promo, as a final kind of word for who this book is for, why it was written, and what they can expect from it. What would you like to, what are some of your final parting words?
One of my words were, where there is history, the pearl becomes a masterpiece. Now the masterpiece is revealed. The portrait of my womanness is complete. And the final painting was born from the hands of gifted artists. So that knowing that, just like the oyster, we focus on the pearl, but if it wasn't for the oyster, to defend itself and to generate what it needed to do to protect itself, as a result, what came out of it was a good thing, the pearl. So there are other people that's in our life that God brings that helps us to become who we are. Even though we're doing the work, but they are like polishing us, so to speak, like the pearl, so that we can radiate and we can shine, and our body kind of be shaped, so to speak. So that's my thing from the book is that we're not here alone, and that we need community, we need family, and most important, we need you need God. The pearl of great price is the parable that I used. That's the thread that's throughout the book. So that's what I really used to critique of my life. And so because God came, Christ came, look for that pearl. And when he found it, it says he hid it. But back in the day, that's what they did. All the treasures, they hid it in the ground. But when we talk about being human, the earth, the soil, it's just reminding us it's okay to be human, because God is concerned about the whole person, not just the spirit, and mind, and we do have a soul. We're a spirit, but we live in a body, and so all I'm just saying is that we are complete in Him. We are complete in Him.
Yes.
And so
that's an encouragement. And the thing about it is, I think I remember asking you at one point about whether a non-believer could read this book and still come away impacted. So we want to make sure we encourage people to read this no matter what your religious affiliation is. Now, you do make no mistake, and you do quote scriptures, and you use the Bible, and you are a blatant, out and out, proud Christian.
Yes, I am.
But you didn't write the book necessarily for Christians. You wrote the book for people who have survived trauma, and who may be going through trauma, and who need to be encouraged that they can survive.
Exactly.
So, you can find yourself in the book one way or another, and your hope is that if they find themselves and they don't have Christ, that Christ will be introduced to them at some point. Thank you for being obedient. When you receive the final, you need to do this, you need to write this down, because as you said, there are so many people who probably have books and are running away from it and haven't written it down yet. And we look forward to more to come from you in connection to this book in particular, and then anything else and everything else that you're going to do, with your endeavors. And we wish you all the best, obviously, with everything that is coming up and all that you are doing, because you survived, and you tell us how to embrace the royalty within, and you embody that. You show yourself as someone as walking royalty.
I own this quote that says, "I can do the hard thing."
Yes.
And so if you don't remember anything, you look. The pearl is hard, and the result of something beautiful. It should encourage us that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us.
Yes, and we can do hard things. Yes, amen. That's awesome. Remember, that's your reminder for that today, because life gets hard, and we can do hard things. And when you don't have the strength, you have to pull on the strength of Christ that He gives you, because that's what she just says. We can do all things when He strengthens us. So we hope that you read the book, you get the book, and please connect with Dr. Paulette when you get the book on all the social media platforms that you can find her, and let her know how the book has changed you and has helped you. Yes, you like to say something?
Amazon, the review.
Oh yes, and if you can review it.
A review. I understand that's even more important.
Right, right. If you find it on Amazon, if you reviewed it and once you read it and give a good review, that would also be helpful. And other ways that they can continue to connect with you and to support you will all be wherever the videos are posted.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So thank you so much. It's been a blessing to talk to you, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yes. God bless.
God bless.